Hello guys, now I will explain example 1a, how to make the long division of 5x over x plus 2. Firstly, we draw our long division. We put at the right 5x and we insert an additional 0 like the fill-in, and at the left we put the x plus 2. Now to do this division, we divide first by first, as we learned in the class. 5x dx. So the answer of 5x over x is equal to 5. I put the answer here. So now the division step is done. Now I move to the second step, which is the multiplication. I multiply 5 times 2 and I put it under the 0. So 5 times 2 is 10. And now the multiplication step is done. I move to the following step, or to the next step, which is the subtraction. I put a minus in between the 0 and the 10, and then I subtract 0 and 10. I will have minus 10 as an answer, or as a remainder. Now, how do I write the final answer, my final answer, or the final answer of the division? You will see in slide number 2, how do I write the final answer of the division. The final answer will be f of x equals our answer, or the answer that we got on the top, so which is 5, plus the remainder, which is minus 10, divided by x plus 2. So this is our final answer. Now the question is, referring to this final answer, is it easy to find the horizontal asymptote? And is it easy to find the vertical asymptote? I guess if we look at this example, it looks like lesson 4.1, and the horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 5 horizontal asymptote. And to find the vertical asymptote, we have to solve for VA. We have to solve denominator equals to 0. So x plus 2 equals to 0 minus 2 on both sides, and x equals minus 2 is my VA. Now I will explain how to divide 8x squared divided by 2x squared minus 3 as long division, which is example 1b. The first step, we draw the long division. We put 8x squared at the right, since it was up, and we insert an additional 0. And 2x squared minus 3 will come at the left. Now, the first step in our long division is the division. We divide first by first, so we divide 8x squared divided by 2x squared. X squared, and 8 divided by 2, I will have the answer 4. After that, I multiply 4 times minus 3, which is minus 12, and I place it under the 0. Now, the third step, which is the final step, I should do a subtraction. I subtract 0 and minus 12, like I put a minus in between them, 12, and the remainder is 12. So now we got an answer which is 4 and a remainder which is 12. We will learn how to write the final answer. I mean, we'll practice how to write the final answer because we learned it before. So we move to the second slide and we write the final answer as f of x equals the answer at the top, which is 4, plus the remainder, which is 12, divided by 2x squared minus 3. Now, referring to this answer, I guess it becomes very easy to find the horizontal asymptote. horizontal asymptote y equals to the number next to the fraction, which is in our case 4. So y equals 4 is the horizontal asymptote. As for VA, I need to solve the denominator, which is the part down, equals to 0. So I need to solve 2x squared minus 3 equals to 0. In the coming slide, I will show you how to solve 2x squared minus 3 equals to 0. So 2x squared minus 3 equals to 0. I start firstly by adding 3 on both sides. So I will have 2x squared equals to 3. Now I have x squared. I still cannot square root because I still have the 2. So I need to get rid of the 2. I divide 2 on both sides. Over 2 over 2. I will have x squared equals 3 over 2. To get rid of the square or of the power 2, I need to do square root at the left. I need to do square root and positive or negative square root at the right. So it goes as such: square root x squared equals positive or negative square root of 3 over 2. So the final answer, if we use the calculator, it becomes x equals plus or minus square root 6 over 2. Plus or minus means I have two answers of the VA. Now my final answer of HA is y equals to 4, and as VA I have two vertical asymptotes, which are x equals square root 6 over 2 and x equals minus square root 6 over 2. Hello guys, I'm recording now to explain to you example 2. Example 2 says find the vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. For this example, or for 2a and 2b and 2c, we're going to find only VA. And 2d, 2e, 2f, we're going to find HA. Now for this function, how do we find the vertical asymptote? To find the vertical asymptote, we have one common rule in all the functions, or for all the functions, which is solve denominator equals to 0. So the denominator, which is 2x minus 8, I have to solve it equals to 0. So in order to solve it, I must move the 8. I do plus 8 plus 8. So 2x is equal to 8. And to make x alone, I have to divide both sides by 2. And hence the VA will be x equals to 4. This is the answer of VA in the example 2a. So now we move to the second part of example 2, which is how do I find the vertical asymptote of 3x plus 1 over 2x squared minus 12. I should solve the denominator equals to 0 based on the rule of the VA. So the denominator, which is 2x squared minus 12, equals to 0. In order to solve this, I must add the 12 on both sides. I will have 2x squared equals to 12, and then the step is now divide by 2, divide by 2. I will have x squared equals to 6. But I'm still not done because I have to make x alone. So I don't need the power 2. In order to remove the power 2 or to get rid of the power 2, what do? I square root both sides. So I do square root of x squared equals plus or minus square root of 6. So x is equal to, I check square root 6 on the calculator if it can be simplified or not, and then x is equal to square root 6 and x equals minus square root 6. These are my VA. So now we move to 2c. F of x equals 3x squared plus 1 over x squared minus 3x minus 40. Again, to find the vertical asymptote, we have to solve the denominator equals to 0, the denominator which is the part down. So x squared minus 3x minus 40 equals to 0. Here I cannot do plus 40 plus 40. Why? Because then I cannot divide the remaining, which are x squared minus 3x. So in order to solve this trinomial, I do it by factoring. The appropriate or the nice factoring will be x minus 8 and positive 5. And you can use your calculator to check the product and sum. And hence I solve each bracket equals to 0. So this will give me x equals 8 and this will give me x equals minus 5. This is the first vertical asymptote and this is the second. So now guys, we will learn how to find the horizontal asymptote. The horizontal asymptote actually is very easy. We don't need to do the long division. We can look at the function and directly know what is the horizontal asymptote. This is a very fast way. So I look at this function. The numerator is starting with the 3x and the denominator is starting with 2x. Now I ask myself, is this ratio divisible? Like, can I divide the 3x divided by 2x, or in other way, can I simplify it? Yes, I can simplify it. The simplification will be 3 over 2. And then, since I can simplify, I say y equals 3 over 2 is my horizontal asymptote. I continue with the example 2e. As we said, to find the horizontal asymptote, we look at the start of the numerator and the start of the denominator. The numerator is starting with 3x and the denominator is starting with 2x squared. Now if we look at this ratio, is it divisible? Can I divide the 3x by 2x squared and get a final number only at the end? So this ratio is not divisible. Not divisible. Since it is not divisible, I say y equals 0 as horizontal asymptote. So this is my horizontal asymptote for the example 2e. We continue with 2f. I have f of x equals 3x squared plus 1 divided by x squared minus 3x minus 40. I need to find the horizontal asymptote. No need to solve the denominator equals to 0 because this is the rule of the vertical asymptote. So the rule of the horizontal asymptote, I can take the starting of, or how the numerator starts. The numerator starts with 3x squared and I divide it by the start of the denominator, which is x squared. Now, is this ratio divisible? Yes, it is divisible, and I can simplify it to 3. So now my horizontal asymptote will be y equals 3, horizontal asymptote. We move, guys, now to example 3, which is f of x equals 2x minus. Find few things, and then we need to graph. The first question is, or part A, which is find the vertical asymptote and the horizontal asymptote. To find the vertical asymptote, we have to solve denominator equals to 0. So x plus 2 equals to 0, I will have x equals minus 2 as asymptote. I'll keep it in a box because later I'm going to need it. HA, to find HA, I take the start of the numerator, which is 2x divided by x. So this ratio can be simplified and it will be, so HA I equals 2 is HA. In part B of the same exercise or of the same example 3, we need to find the domain. In the domain, referring to part A, we have vertical asymptote x equals minus 2 and horizontal asymptote y equals 2. We learned in lesson 4.1 that we can write the domain as minus infinity VA, which is minus 2, union minus 2, positive infinity. Also in this lesson we have another way, which is R minus VA, or R minus 2. We actually use the second way when we have two vertical asymptotes. But when we have one vertical asymptote, we can use either the first way, which is the interval notation, 2 brackets, or we can use the second. It's up to you. Now we go to part C, which is graph. We do the table of value. The table of value to 5 sections. We put VA in the middle, and then we scratch it. So before x equals minus 2, x equals minus 3. And before minus 3, we have x equals minus 4. After x equals minus 2, we have 1. And after x equals minus 1, we have x equals 0. We don't need to calculate anything in the x column. Now to get the y column, I plug minus 4 in the function or in the given function, which is 2. It's like that. 2 minus 4 plus 1 divided by minus 4 plus 2, like that. So the final answer, I guess I'm going to have divided by minus 2, which is 7 over 2. Just 1 second. Oh, it's minus 1. I'm sorry. So this answer is going to be 4.5. And this answer is going to be 7 on the calculator as well, when x is equal to minus 3, and when x is equal to 0, I will have minus 0.5. So now we're going to draw it. I start drawing by making VA as a dotted line. My VA is x equals minus 2. I draw x equals minus 2 as a dotted line, vertical dotted line, and HA, a horizontal dotted line on y is equal to. Now, how do I plug the ordered pairs? I plug the first ordered pair, which is minus 4, and 4.5, I guess it's gonna be here. And I plug the second ordered pair, which is minus 3 and 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess it's gonna be something like that here. And minus 1, 3, which is here. And 0 minus 0.5, which is equal to, oh, I'm sorry, minus 1. When x is equal to minus 1, I have y equals minus 3, which is, I guess, here. 0 minus 0.5, which is here. And then I make the graphs. I need to go, I connect the two dots, and then I go near to the vertical and the horizontal asymptote but without touching them, and same for these two. I go near but I never touch them. So